What's going on, paisanos? V here, coming at you with another market watch. Fully healthy, fully ready, and looking to tackle this market, which some people may or may not be ready for. To be honest, one of the decks in the market, one of the decks that's impacting the market heavily right now is this Mystic Mine deck. This deck's insane, guys. This deck just is old school burn, with the field spell that says you can't do nothing while I slowly burn you down. And in this market watch, we're going to tackle that. But before I begin, guys, I just want to say, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, notification bell, and of course, comment down below. And type in your question, hashtag Q4V. I should be able to answer it at the end of my next market watch, and be kind of good to do. Be a good paisano. Anyway, guys, looking at the market, looking at the cards right now, this is the deck that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to be trying to cheese you by, and it is what it is. We're going to go over the deck, and I'm going to go over options to get rid of this deck, and I think I have the answers in this video for you guys. Right off the gate, Mystic Mine from Dark Storm is hitting $7. The card was slowly going up from $5 throughout the previous weekend. I don't think it's going to slow down. Every Yu-Gi-Oh player that's going to play this needs a play set. This card is obviously seeing play in the Mystic Mine Burn deck, but it's also starting to see play in like Strikers and Altergeist and all over the place. In fact, to be honest with you, I started working my Altergeist deck last night with Mystic Mine, and I just took it out. I wasn't really excited about it. In fact, I'm in my deck, and I'll have the deck with file coming up soon for you guys with Altergeist, and I also have one with Strikers as well. How to combat that. Maybe Strikers, maybe I'll put it in for Strikers. But for Altergeist, I have a very fluid kind of a deck against the meta, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But with Mystic Mine, guys, it's definitely a card that's going to shut you down. You're looking to play Dingirisu or Orcust deck. You make a great board, your opponent goes, okay, cool, Mystic Mine, you now do nothing, my go, cool. And they just proceed to murder your face. They have a lot of ways to search this, and I'll show you guys in a second. One of the cards being part of Extravagance is a card that is now beyond its pre-sale price. This card's $78. And it doesn't take long for the card to easily hit $80 if you look over here in the market. Current price on the card is $73. It's beyond its market price and keeps going higher and higher and higher. Well, not only do you need it for this Mystic Mine deck, but you got Altergeist players grabbing the Extravagance. And you got a lot of other Yu-Gi-Oh players looking to pick up this card because this card is just that insane. And of course, we have Lilith, Lady of Ladman. I talked about this card yesterday, and it looks like it's cooling down a little bit off the market. It's about $4.50, down from its $5 market price, but nevertheless, the deck needs 3 of these, and it only comes in a Structure Deck Layer of Darkness. You also got Metaverse, another card that's going all over the place. You got Structure Deck Zombie Horde Metaverse, the common version of Metaverse. It's at $3. Then you got the original print, Circuit Metaverse. Don't let them deceive you, boys. This one's going up as well. The rare one, the higher rarity, $1.45 in the market. Unlimited Lightning Plates are about 2s. First editions are hitting already about 3s. Next one after that, boom, you see it over here, guys. It's almost $4. It's about $5 for the next Metaverse. So this one's going up higher in value as well. This only becomes, once again, we could say Altergeist, but realistically it's the Mystic Mine Burn. Next we have Traptrix. It's going higher in value. Market price of this card being $32, but it's not that, of course. It's $45 for a Traptrix. Well, why? Well, because the deck runs it. The deck runs it, so you Traptrix into Metaverse into Mystic Mine, and you just continue maintaining the lock. In fact, here in the TCG, we have a lot more things we can do than the OC. We have a lot more options. One of the main ones being Terraforming. Another card, I'll show you in a second. It's around here, so there it is. Terraforming, this one's another card in which the OC has one of, but of course we have 2 Terraformings. And looking at the price point, we have tons of those. They're easy to get, to be honest. If you want to do Max Rarity, Ultimate Rare Terraforming, it's actually a little bit lower in value. It's about $40 under its $42 market price. You got Unlimited Lightning Plate here at $36, then it hits about $40. So yeah, Terraforming's kind of a little bit low right now in case we want to bling out their Burn Troll deck. And of course, we have Lava Golem. And the reason why I point this out, even though the Oshi doesn't really play it, well, with Lava Golem, the deck really just wants to just punish your opponent. Give them a Lava Golem, slowly burn them as they're slowly being burned. They definitely have a monster on board. Your Mystic Mine card is stopping them from activating card effects. So technically they want to burn, but they would just have a Lava Golem. And if you ever stabilize them, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Lava Golem getting rid of cards that can be problematic if you're looking to play Mystic Mine Burn. You can even opt out to not play Lava Golem for the 2 of and go for the 1 of and just throw a Kaiju in their way. Hey, that card looks pretty good, and if you get rid of Mystic Mine, you can probably murder my face. Here's a Lava Golem or Kaiju. Now you do nothing. If you want to go 3 of, we have Spirit Mode, which just got reprinted as well. Then we got KONAMI, the card in which is slowly going back up to normality in its price point. Let me explain. The Legendary Collection Kyber Secrets are about, $8 to $9 for the most part. That's under a $13 market price. I think this price point is going to bounce back. Not because this really, because of 2 Dracos is why I see this version going up in value. Because 2 Dracos could run another card, which we'll talk about in a second, but they can run another card, in which is why I think 2 Dracos can be more meta relevant. But looking at other versions of KONAMI, the original print Millennium Pack as well as Dual Power Ultra Rares are both the same exact card. Literally the same exact card. Looking at the price point, it's $7 over here for the original version, and looking at Dual Power, it's about $5. And to be honest with you, one's going to stabilize to the other. I don't know which is going to happen, but it's definitely going to happen. So we can see Dual Power KONAMI is going a little bit higher in value, but like $1 or $2, but nevertheless going higher in value. Then we have Ojama Trio. This card's at 3, and it kind of slipped through the meta. You can play a Swords going to 3, and they were like, whatever, burns to dead. And then we got Mystic Mind. They're like, oh, wait a minute, burns alive. And you can run 3 Ojama Trios. You can put Ojama tokens on your opponent's side of the board. Hey, Mystic Mind says you can't do things. By the way, look at those Ojama tokens. And to be honest with you, this is pretty huge by itself. I mean, look at what decks we have in the meta right now. Besides the Nightmare package, what decks need to utilize, there's nothing else a lot of decks can do to get rid of Ojama tokens. They're pretty hard to get rid of, and they can't be attributed, so that's gonna be a bit of a pain for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. Playing Ojama, playing against 3 tokens on their board that for the most part they don't have any way to really get rid of, and it can be kind of problematic for some decks. I know for my fellow Altergeist players, it's a bit of a pain if you're not running Nightmares, and Altergeist players are trying to take a Nightmares out to add a lot more extra deck stuff because we run a pot of Extravagance, as well as other decks like Orcust. It's still pretty problematic nevertheless. I mean, yes, you kind of have some ways to get around it, but you have to blow through your whole Nightmare package, which is kind of the point of the Mystic Mind Burn deck, because when you blow through your extra deck, whoa, you're still putting monsters on board, and guess what? That card says you can't even use them. So it kind of does its job no matter what. Oh yeah, and they burn you. Next, Dingarusu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, is still roughly around $35. I still think this is relatively high in value, and I do think this will calm down in value, and I think it'll calm down quickly. And when I talked about this yesterday, I really just said I think it'll calm down quickly, and then I went on to the next card. But to be honest with you, I think Dingarusu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, is going to calm down because of Mystic Mind Burn. Once again, you're going to go full board, and they're just going to go, cool, here's one card, you can't do nothing, have fun with that. I mean, you might have a chance to, react to them, but unless Orcust start playing some spell and trap removal, for the most part, they're going to be screwed. Also, Mystic Mind Burn wants to go first. It goes first because the minute you summon a monster, they go, cool, Metaverse. And they have a lot of ways to access Metaverse, as previously shown here with cards like Traptrix, Pot of Duality, Pot of Extravagance. They're going to get that Traptrix. They're going to set that Traptrix. And yes, you can Ash Traptrix, but let's be honest, your deck's pretty heavy in monsters. The odds of you opening an Ash is relatively low, and the deck can also run Call by the Grave, that other card. Moving forward, guys, for anyone that's looking to play Old Orcust, Scrap Recycle is going up in value. We see the market of this card roughly around $7, Unlimited's at $8, Perdition's already almost near $9 to $10 for Scrap Recycler. Now, to be honest with you, it's not bad. It's pretty decent, obviously, for Orcust. I'm not sure if they're going to play this because that's OCG Orcust running cards like Scrap Recycler, running things like Tricksters and Skystriker engines. But why would they run that? Well, because they don't have dangers. And we here in the TCG have dangers. We are abusing the crap out of dangers. And dangers in Orcust is a real deck. And I think even though Scrap Recycle is a great card, I'm not sure it'll be run as much as the danger package. And I'm not sure it's going to be run at 3 or in a high amount. And if it's not going to be run at a high amount, well, what happens? The value and hype die down. So looking at Scrap Recycler, I would highly recommend you sell this card. Even though it's a great card, just because if you are looking to play Orcust, you're going to really want to go with the Danger package. It's probably the most consistent package out there. Other cards like Sky Striker's Mobilizing Gauge is roughly around $45. Higher than its $40 market price. Looking at Widow Anchor, it's about $31 to $32. Higher than its $30 market price. Strikers are not dead at all. They can use Mystic Mind, like I said earlier in this video, and they can use it pretty well. They always maintain one monster on board, and against spammy.decks, combo-heavy.decks, well, you just drop Mystic Mind against them, and you're like, cool. Mystic Mind, your monsters can't do nothing. By the way, here's my one-up monster. That's all I really need to murder your face with, a one-up monster. And then by the time I actually go into a lot of monsters, I'm mostly just going into Boar Sword, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a one-up monster. And maybe another monster, which would be a two-up monster. Anyway, looking at Sky Strikers, I still think that deck is very viable. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are heavily underestimating Strikers. But every Striker player is doubling down and holding the deck. In fact, new players are coming into the fold and playing Strikers, because obviously it's a good deck still. Up next, Altergeist. Looking at multi-faker, market price of this card about $8.50, but we're seeing it go over $9, almost near $10 for Altergeist multi-faker. And the reason why this card's so good is because the deck is very versatile. It's one of the very few decks I could confidently say in the meta that is versatile. And before you go, wait a minute, V, you're an Altergeist fanboy. You're right, but I do play other decks. I'm literally sitting down, and I'm swarmed with 4, 5, 6, 7 decks. These are all decks in my deck boxes, including like Orcust, Sky Strikers, Pendulum Magician variant. I play a ton of decks, but Altergeist is very. It definitely molds to where they're playing against relatively easier than other decks, and I think that's one of the big advantage for Altergeist. Also, Crackdown's phenomenal in the deck, but looking at other cards that can be used. Once again, let's talk about cards stopping back. Mystic Mine. Well. Oh, Compulsory Evacuation Device. All the guys can use it, but a lot of decks can use it, and this will help mitigate your field. Because remember, the big drawback of anyone running Mystic Mime is once per turn to the end phase, if both players control the same number of monsters, destroy this card. Well, if you activate Compulsory Evacuation Device, guess what? You now just don't have no monsters. You link it to one monster, you compose that bad boy, and you sit back and you relax and you're cool. Now in the OCG, they have multiple compose, so it's a lot easier for them than it is for us here in the TCG as far as compulsory evacuation device. We're only allowed to have one. Looking at the market price, of cards roughly around $15, and to be honest with you, that's where it is. It's about $15 in the market price for compose. It quickly goes up to $18, and I wouldn't be surprised if this card was to get bought out because it's a Turtle Pack Booster 4 card. It's a phenomenal super rare. I really like this card a lot, and I think that one day, eventually, this card can come up the banners. I don't know what the meta is going to be like, but it can happen. But another card that's pretty big is Crackdown. Now, this is nothing that can be used for Mystic Mime, but going back to 2 Dracos for a second, they can easily use Crackdown. And if, let's say you're playing a Mystic Mime Burn, or any deck that's really about combo heavy, control heavy, whatever it is, you just crack down your opponent's monster, and then you go into Light Inductance Dragon. A card I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players kind of forgot about. You go into Light Inductance Dragon, and it has auto negates built into a monster effect. So not only are you taking their monster, but you're making them use resources to get rid of one monster. And when Light Inductance Dragon dies, you bring back one monster from the graveyard. You gotta nuke your field, but it doesn't really matter because you don't play that many monsters to begin with. And I think this is a phenomenal card, and there's a bunch of variations of this card all over the market. The money one is obviously Retro Pack 2. Even though I don't recommend you get that one, I recommend you get the GX Manga promo because it's a lot more cheaper right now. There's only 23 prices available. Market price of this card's roughly around $7, and we're seeing it around $6 right now. It's super under its market price. And like I said, there's not many. See, page 2 has lots of 1s and 2s. Page 1 had 1/4 of, and that's it. And then page 3 has a 6 of, and that's really it for this card as far as any kind of real big walls. But yeah, I would highly recommend you pick up Light Inductance Dragon. This is a card that might start seeing play in 2 Dracos, because once again, 2 Dracos is about the resource game. The deck is probably one of the best resource decks in the game. You have 2 spells and 2 traps and a field spell that just says, hi, I'm going to play you early game, mid game, and late game in the same speed, same style, same fashion. And then if you drop a Light Inductance Dragon by taking one of the monsters, then you really rip into them by saying, now you need to give me resources to stop this one card. Have fun with that. It's really good. The only drawback with that, obviously, is it loses to weird chain ruling, so kind of want to read up on your chain rulings. Another card is a Draconet. It's Starfoil from Star Pack Vrains. $3 in the market price, but it's just about bought out, actually. We're seeing this card about $10, and after these have gone over here, it's about $16 for Draconet. This is for the Starfoil version. For the not-so-Starfoil version, yeah, no, it's 10 cents. You got another comment that came out in the short starter deck, Link Strike, it's 15 cents. But rarity whores be rarity whoring, am I right, fellas? Anyway, up next, guys, is cards to stop Mystic Mine. One of them being Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell. Now, I'm not a big fan of this card, but at the same time, if you go first against Mystic Mime and you Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell, Mystic Mime, you know what you play against? A really crappy burn deck. Like a really crappy burn deck that you can easily beat. Once you Curse Seal for the Forbidden Spell, Mystic Mime, it's pretty much game. And the card has a ton of printings, including OTS 1 Pack 8, in which it was 8 cents. For you guys who don't know what it does, it's a counter trap. When a spell card is activated, discard one spell card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And if you do that, your opponent can activate spell cards with that name for the rest of this duel. So you basically activate this card, you hit Mystic Mime, and there goes Mystic Mime. You just play against Bad Burn, which is relatively easy to beat. The Mystic Mime deck without Mystic Mime is just a Bad Burn deck, in my opinion. Up next, Heavy Storm Dust, another card that some decks can use, some decks cannot use. Once again, I know Altergeist can use it, but control decks like Guru Control can use it. Even Sky Strikers can opt to use it as one option for Sky Striker players. A lot of decks can pretty much easily store this card. It's a great side deck option. And look at Heavy Storm Dust, it's about $1. Target up to 2 spells and traps in the field. Destroy them, you cannot conduct your battle phase. This is what you do in your opponent's turn. Your opponent goes to end phase, you go end phase, activate Heavy Storm Duster, lulls, and then you just start whipping on them. Another card is Jinzo. Now, I don't play combo heavy decks that much. I'm starting to get back into the flow of playing combo heavy decks. I'm building Orcust right now, which takes forever because the deck is really hard to get all the pieces for. But to be honest with you, if you're out there and you are playing Orcust yourself, or you're playing any deck that's kind of relevant, you're going to want to get Jinzo. If you're playing a combo heavy deck, you get Jinzo, because what happens is, if you have anything, like 3 MSTs, or 2 MSTs, let's say, in your deck, and you're playing against that burn deck variant, they don't have an answer to Jinzo. Remember earlier in the video I said about Lava Golem, Spear Mode, and any Kaijus? Yeah, looking at this deck right here, it doesn't have anything. The closest thing it has is 2 Security Dragons, in which they need to normal summon 2 lives without you murdering their face. So, yeah, you kind of could do that. It has 2 Kaijus on the side, but that's really it. So you can go into Jinzo and to stop the burn part of the deck, which, as you can see over here, is pretty significant. You go Jinzo, you stop the burn, and they lose. To all my combo heavy friends out there, that's all you need to do. They do the whole little combo Mystic Mind. You go, cool, tribute anything for a Jinzo, look at them and go, you can't burn me, we're going to top deck draw, and if you don't have your Kaijus, most likely they won't be putting in, I'm going to grab my MST and murder your face. I'm going to end this game. And you can't activate your goddamn trap trick. You can't activate your metaverse. You just got to look at me and say, yes, daddy. And daddy is very angry. And he's going to beat you silly with the belt. Now, as far as which Jinzo is the best, because obviously you're playing Orcust or any Remedy Horde deck that I love so much, you want to know what's the best Jinzo. Well, to be honest with you, I think Pharaoh's Servant. And I'll get back to that in a second of why that's the best version. But before I begin, let me talk about other Jinzos, like Retro Pack 2. Market price of this card's about $11. It's an ultra rare, not a secret rare. It's about $11 over here, as you guys can easily see. Other Jinzos is going to be the 2003 Collector's Tin. The Secret Rare, this is not as good as the original, but it's relatively cheap. You got the Anniversary Pack, which is a gorgeous alternate art version of Jinzo. Look at this, it's beautiful. By the way, little side note, Android Psycho Shocker is Jinzo's name in the OCG. Anyway, the market price of this card is about $7. And then you can see over here, it's actually about $5.50. There's a bunch of them over here for about 5s to 6s. Then you start hitting near 7 if you want the alternate art Jinzos. Now, why is Pharaoh's Servant Jinzo the best version? Well, I'm not sure if any of you guys are old like me, but Jinzo was a hard card to pull back in the day. And here's why. It's a hard card to pull because Pharaoh's Servant, the set, was sold in boxes of 24 and 36 count boxes. And the reason it was done that way is because there was a secret rare that you could only get in 36 count boxes. So stores might have opted to grab that over the 24 count boxes, limiting the amount of Jinzos in the market. Also, to find Jinzo at a decent rarity, secret rare OG print, which is the best and highest rarity, hands down confirmed for Jinzo, is very hard. First edition Let You Play Jinzos are relatively expensive, and I'll show you guys right here. Once again, the market price is $17 for Pharaoh's Servant Jinzo. We'll go over page 1. There's none moderately played, heavily played damage. Page 2 doesn't got any. Page 3, same thing. You got until you get it to a Let You Played. That's roughly around $13. But once again, it's all about first edition, guys. That's the only one that matters. Everything else is useless. And we're into page 6, and we're still not in the first edition territory. And now we're starting to get to see a couple, but they're all heavily played, mildly played, nothing too good. First edition Let You Play Jinzo. First edition Let You Play Jinzos are $75. And by the way, if you get Jinzo and you have first edition Let You Played, $75. This is why this is the best version. If you want a cheaper version, there's great alternatives. But if you want the highest rarity version, if you're playing Orcust, you want the highest rarity version because your deck blinged out is gorgeous, you can get Jinzo. And yeah, that's a pretty good card. Looking over here, as you guys can clearly see, it's a good money card. And to be honest with you, you go Jinzo, you stop the burn deck and combo heavy decks, and you just wait until you draw MST, and you pop them with that MST. And then you just look at them like, well, there goes that. Or you just keep normal summoning monsters, sacking them off to make a second Jinzo, and you're like, great. So if you do play one of your 2 ways to out my Jinzo, I'm just going to put another one on board, and then you're back with shot. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Moving forward, guys, looking at other cards like Twin Twisters, another card that's, I think, is going to see a lot more main deck play because of Mystic Mind Burn. Obviously, you want to grab your Twin Twisters. They're relatively cheap right now. They are anywhere from $5 to $7 for Twin Twisters. Secret Rare, obviously, is the highest version. By the way, little side note, I already have my 3 first editions. You already know that, boys. Anyway, three first editions are Twin Twisters are the best versions. They're almost there $7. But there's a lot of good versions of Twin Twisters, to be honest with you. Another great card to stop this kind of heavy meta, in which I think we're going to go into, in which control is going to be starting to dominate over combo heavy decks. Combo heavy decks still have an option, they still have plays, but control definitely is, I think, the name of the game in the meta for going forward towards the YCS and Nationals. Up next is Unending Nightmare, another great trap card. And I hate being sounding like a broken record with Altergeist, but you just Unending Nightmare, you pop their stuff, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, that trap card, he's a multi-faker. Unending Nightmare had a couple of printings. One came out, Battle's Legends for Legends Revenge. It's 17 cents for an ultra rare. The other one, obviously, is from Maximum Crisis. It's only $1 for the original print secret rare Unending Nightmare from Maximum Crisis. Looking over here, guys, you can see over here, it's 93 cents. It's a continuous shop card. You can pay 1,000 light points. Target one face of spell trap on the field. Destroy it. You can only activate the effect of Unending Nightmare once per chain. Which is very important. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to go, well, V, wait a minute. You're playing against Burn deck, but you're playing on Unending Nightmare. Now, I would say, yeah, no, you have a great point. True. Except you're playing against a really crappy burn deck. You just want to stop Mystic Mine. That's all you care about. And then you can do whatever the hell you want afterwards. So Unending Nightmare actually is a phenomenal card in stopping that deck. Seriously, if you are looking to play against a deck, just take out 3 Mystic Mines. Take out all the stuff that's used for getting and facilitating Mystic Mine, and try playing against that deck. You'll dominate that deck. They'll do a couple of cute little plays, and you go, okay, cool, and then you just murder their face. So even though I think that the Mystic Mine burn deck by its total is a phenomenal deck, the burn part isn't as strong unless you have Mystic Mine. That's why it's so important to get rid of that one card. And looking at cards like Unending Nightmare, it's a phenomenal way to do that. You Unending Nightmare their Mystic Mime, and then you just leave it on board because they don't have many spell trap removals on it unless they go into the side deck, in which you have things like that card, or they have a couple of other options, but it's not as strong as Unending Nightmare. They even run Unending Nightmare, as you just saw. So it's obviously a phenomenal trap card to stop one card. That's all you care about. Once you stop the one card, you win. Congratulations. You just gotta play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, evenly matched. Now, Strikers and Geist are probably the best decks to go and use evenly match, especially decks that even opt to main, as you see in the past meta. They've main evenly match, but other decks are still starting to slowly side back evenly match into their side decks. Well, why? Because it's good against Altergeist and Strikers. I'm damn sure I'll tell you that. It's phenomenal to blow a card. And also, it's good against Mystic Mine. Once again, you just evenly match Mystic Mine Burn. What are you going to do? Keep the field spell? Cool. End turn. Field spells popped. Good game, bro. Now you have how many cards in hand? Most likely none, because you're running card demise. Great, enjoy your top deck. I'm just gonna play the rest of my deck and murder you. That's literally what you do when you play evenly match against these. Now, once again, I went to my old video yesterday. I'll post a little link around here somewhere. You guys can check that out, which I discuss about evenly match and why I think the dual power one is the crappiest one. The price points are always declining. Evenly matched original prints are probably the best one, but you can opt to go into a circuit break run, which is relatively inexpensive right now, and they're about the same amount of prices for a circuit break, as well as the 20 Mega Tin evenly match. They both have 58 prices, which means there's a ton of them in the market, so get the better versions for a couple of dollars more. Anyway, this is a phenomenal card. I think it's going to be a main deck staple moving forward up until after Nationals. People will be focusing on an evenly match. Common question of the day comes from James Brinsfield. He says, #QVV. A month or two ago, I began selling a TCG player. It started out as a little hobby to mess around with in my spare time, but I really enjoy it, and I'm beginning to gain traction. I'll be a seller level 4, and therefore eligible to offer free shipping. When a few sales complete in about a week or so, I can expect my sales to increase drastically from there. I'm constantly bringing new inventory. Read more. Oh god, that's a lot. From bulk lot collections on eBay and locally, and I feel like it turns into a legitimate means of income if things stay the way they have lately. Anyways, I decided to commit more time and effort in this, and I was just wondering, is there any advice you can offer to me as making the leap from just a hobby to treating it like a part-time job? Any help from the commenters would be appreciated. To a couple of commenters, and this is probably one of the highest voted comments yesterday, and I found it really interesting. Okay. So here's my ways to help you out there. Number one, if you're looking to be more serious about TCG Player, I don't recommend it because I hate TCG Player, to be honest with you. I do sell a lot on it, and I'm at the point, I guess, I can't, I mean, I own a store, so I kind of, technically full-time income, but not really. It pays for the store, maybe it pays, and all the store utilities, and maybe it pays a couple of my bills as far as TCG Player, so I can't really crap on it too much. But what I will say is, what I will say about TCG Player is that, if you are looking to sell more seriously, you need a Dymo label printer. You need a Dymo label printer 450. It's relatively expensive. but it's worth it. The refills you could buy on eBay, I think I paid 20 bucks, got a ton of refills. You get the no frills refills, it doesn't matter. The label printer is amazing. Here's my store address actually, and it prints labels like this. It's when you're doing when you get one order and you write it out, it's no big deal. When you get like 10, 20, for me this week, I think I'm up to 75 on pre-sales. When you get things like that, this is a godsend from the gods above, and you appreciate them by printing a crap ton of labels. So I would recommend something like that, guys. It's kind of really helpful in order to get things done quickly and efficiently. Another thing is always do it properly. Actually, I don't know why I have a random stuff like here, but always put it in a top loader and put it in a sleeve. I'm sorry. And then put it in a top loader. Magic players are the worst people ever for shipping to. So if you're selling Yu-Gi-Oh, you're good. Yu-Gi-Oh players aren't as bad. Yu-Gi-Oh players are pretty laxed. In my shipping, my TCG player seller history, Yu-Gi-Oh players are so mad. You just go, hey man, you sent me the wrong card. You go, oh my bad. Hey, send that card back. I'll send you the right card. They go, okay, totally fine. 42-cent stamp. I've had Magic players literally were like, you sent me the wrong card. And I'm keeping it, and I want you to send me the right card, or else you're not getting your money. I'm like, that's not how this works. And the messages are saved on TCG. I've seen that. I just had a recent guy say, hey, the card you sent me is not in good quality. It was double sleeved. It is in good quality. He's BSing me. So and he's like, so I will accept the card, but you need to send me a partial refund. Sorry, bro. I don't do discounted cards. That's the thing you're going to have to deal with. Like I said, Magic players will buy and hype the fastest. They buy hype faster than Yu-Gi-Oh players, only at specific times when the new set comes out, or maybe a card after Pro Tour. But they're the worst people to deal with as far as selling to. In my experience, if you had this experience, comment down below. Let me know I'm not alone. But for Yu-Gi-Oh players, this is how chill Yu-Gi-Oh players are. You put it in a sleeve, you put it in a top loader, and then you tape said top loader. You grab an envelope, you pop that bad boy in the envelope, you label print the crap out of it, you rip it off, slap a stamp, you send it out, you're good to go. Anything over about $20, I would include shipping with, depending on how far from 20. If it's 20, this, you know, whatever, it's not a big. But if it's a little over 20, I would definitely include shipping with. And for that, you need a little. Oh, here we go. You need something like this. We just cover the person's name. Someone like this, and this what you're gonna need is another label printer, which is a Dymo label printer 4XL. I think there's a combo version, but I like to get them individually anyway. They're relatively expensive. Once again, I would just wait and save up for these. But this is a 4XL. These are 4x6 labels. You can get them anywhere. They're pretty much cheap to buy, to be honest with you. Same thing like the other label printers. And these are the things I send them in. Little envelopes. I bought a box of them. I think I spent $60 for a huge box of a ton of these, and that pretty much takes care of that for shipping. They're happy. I ship out with shipping easy. Hopefully it helps you out as that. And there's probably a ton more I could tell you, but I could do a whole video on TCG Player, but I'm not going to because I really hate TCG Player, and I don't really want to show you guys my back end of TCG Player because some people might get upset about certain things. But one thing is the TCG Player Direct is phenomenal, but you have to have a lot of sales with TCG Player Direct. Look into that. And don't think you just hit level 4. Don't go to them and say, hey, listen, I want to do TCG Player Direct. They'll laugh at you. You have to be a store or have a high sales volume consistently. High sales volume. 3,000, I think, singles a month in order to be recommended, in order to opt in to apply for TCG Player Direct. So there's that as well. And once again, good luck. I know selling online, even though I say I don't like TCG Player, I will have to admit it is better than eBay. It's probably the best we have right now. I think it could be done better, but I will admit very confidently TCG Player is the best we have right now. There's nothing better. Don't do it on eBay. It's trash. Like if you guys out there and you're doing it on eBay, you do you, boo boo. But it's trash. I think it's horrible. I hate it. I've done it a lot, and I'm so glad TCG Player does exist for us. I just think that's something that it could be done better out there in the future. Anyway, I really appreciate your comment question, James, and hopefully you guys out there appreciate that. And let me know what you guys think. Are you playing Orcust? Are you playing Altergeist? Are you looking to play Mystic Mind Burn? And we'll see what happens with the meta on the next episode of Dragon Ball V. See you later, paisanos.